Pound dollar daily forecast, January 11th, fxempire.com. The pound dollar pair rose slightly during the session on Tuesday as the markets in general were quiet. The pair is approaching the 155 handle, and that was a sign of a supportive breakdown in the past. You can see that although we had blown past it a couple times, it was causing reactions until we got to this candle here. Having said that, this should cause a little bit of resistance, and on the shorter time frames you can definitely see it a little bit clearer because this is the daily chart. But I wanted to point out that we are looking at the fact that the highs are getting lower. The last low wasn't lower, but it was pretty close, and we see this as a gradual grind through the 155 to 153 area. This thick area is massive support on the higher time frames. As I zoom out to the weekly, you can see that this is a little bit of a head and shoulders, and of course if 153 gives way, then we have a complex head and shoulders which measures to roughly about 140. We are selling this on the rallies just simply because you can see that every time it does rally, it does fall, and it tends to fall a little farther. And as well, we are selling the hand over fist if we get a daily close below that 153 mark, which would trigger that head and shoulders pattern. The shorter time frames could be used for entries at this moment in time if you're a shorter term player, knowing that 155 to 153 is going to be very supportive, and you are selling into support. But the fact is the momentum is definitely with you, and it does look weak. As you look at 4-hour charts, for example, or even a 1-hour chart, you can see that we are approaching a little cluster here, and it could perhaps start to fall back over. Of course, you are going to have to be nimble if you do attempt some type of trade like that. The daily candle isn't quite a shooting star yet, but it is starting to kind of look like one. We have about an hour left in the day at the time of recording here. Having said that, we are selling the pound only and not buying it. One of its biggest problems, quite frankly, is the fact that it's so intertwined, the UK that is, with the European Union. It's hard to imagine the European Union falling apart or even just going into a standard run-of-the-mill recession and it not affecting the UK economy. With that being said, the dollar is favored at the moment against most currencies in general, and as such, it makes sense that this continues to grind lower. We are selling rallies. We are selling below 153.